All right, everybody, welcome back. ForexFreeClub Weekly Analysis. Sorry for the hiatus, but we're back now. Just want to let you know that this is free educational signals that I provide, focusing mainly on the weekly time frame. I use 4 hour time frame during the week for my entries, and I'm going to run through my watch list and news, as well as look at some of the fundamentals. So we'll get started. So looking at the news for today, you can see that we are currently with export price index, import price index coming up later on. I'm trying to see if there's anything super relevant. I don't see too much later on today, so should be a good day for a weekly entry. Let's look at the news for next week, Friday. All right, so yeah, we just have Fed Chair Powell speaking next week. That's about it. That's relevant for us using my watch list. So news is pretty calm. We did have a lot of news happen, I believe, last week. Um, so yeah, that was. You definitely have to watch out for volatility in the market when you're taking your entries. So just to read some news, this is from FXCM. AUD/USD turns cautious after hitting familiar roadblock. This was written 7 hours ago by Nikos Sabores. Okay, so AUD/USD analysis. The Reserve Bank of Australia kicked off last week's central banking blitz with a hawkish surprise. After April's pause, officials restarted their hiking cycle with the 0.25% rate increase against markets' expectations for another hold. CPI inflation had moderated to 7% year over year in quarter one. Although the RBA welcomed the lower print, it stressed that inflation is still too high. The U.S. Fed Reserve filed with a 25 basis point increase, and even though it did not take more hikes off the table, it opened the door to a pause, which will be in line with its own projections and market expectations. More to it, CME's FedWatch tool points to rate cuts ahead, assigning the highest probability to rates falling to 4.5% by the end of the year from 5.25% currently. The hawkish surprise by the RBA and the pause hint by its U.S. counterpart boosted AUD/USD, which registered its sixth straight profitable day on Monday. It tested 38.2% Fibonacci of the 2023 higher low drop that allows it to look the next level in the upper border of the thick daily Ichimoku cloud, but we are cautious for further gains towards 0.7 0.7 to I don't know what they're trying to type there. However, the impressive profitable streak looks stretched as it hits the familiar 38.2% Fibonacci, which the Aussie had rejected multiple times last month. The pair slides today as poor Q1 retail sales in the technicals way, creating risk for a test of the EMA 200 and the lower border of the Ichimoku cloud. Daily closes below them will bring 2023 low in the spotlight, but a breach will likely need a strong catalyst. Markets now turn to Wednesday's CPI inflation figures from the U.S. for more direction. All right, so this was a couple of days ago, and they're saying that looking for a possible retest to the 200 EMA. So that lines up with my fundamental analysis of AUDs more likely to be weaker. Looking at GBP and NZD strength, but JPY has been strengthening. So we'll take a look, and I just want to show in the commitment of traders, AUDs. So the opinion is to sell the AUDs based on the currency strength and COT analysis. All right, so we looked at that. All right, so let's hop on the charts. This analysis is going to be relatively quick. I just want to go over the quarter points, projections for next week possibly, and then during the week I'll be looking for entries, if not entering today. So AU, although we are looking at weakness, it does look like we are in our demand zone right now. So possibly we're looking for a buy this week. And I would like to see if we can get past this 0.675 quarter point, as we've been ranging between the 0.675 and the 0.65 since basically March, beginning of March. So consolidating for a while. We do have overall bullish structure. However, the bearish, you know, the bearish order block from the monthly is up here by the 0.70. So due to AUD fundamental weakness, I'll be looking to take sells from the highs. And since we're relatively low, possibly we could take a buy from this zone into next week. So I'll be looking for that on AU. All right, so AUD Swiss franc, very similar to AU, except we are a little bit more extended down, as Swiss franc was, very strong. So we do have a similar setup where we broke out, uh, creating this order block with this weekly engulfing candle, and now we're retesting the order block. So we'd be looking to see if we could take a buy from 0.6 to 0.625. Obviously, looking at sells anywhere in the 0.65 area. We could potentially get some sells from 0.625, looking at the alligators. But for now, it looks like a bullish setup for a retest into these highs, and then we'll see if price will roll over and break this low. So we'll probably do no trades on AUDs, just watching the market, since fundamentally the weakness is not really supportive of the buy. All right. So GBP USD, as you can see, we've been bullish for some weeks now. We still have our weekly zone. The weekly zone is based off of this candle here. And we just broke into the 1.25 QP range, between 1.25 and 1.275. We weren't able to get to 1.275 before pulling back. So this could either be a buy signal to keep going for continuation, or because of this engulfing, we could be looking at a short signal. So since price is high, this would be a good place to take a sell. But because fundamentally GBPs are weak, I'd rather not take a sell. I'd rather watch the market, see if it pulls back maybe to the 1.225 or the 1.2 before looking for buys again on GBPs. All right, GBP Swiss franc has been consolidating for a while now, since October of last year. I was able to catch this buy trade up, and then we got this rejection candle from the alligator. So, and correlating with the 1.25 QP. So this could be a potential sell setup back down to the 1.1 QP, where that would be a nice area to look for another buy back up, since GBPs are fundamentally strong. Still waiting for a price to break the alligators and close above. And so that would be the best setup for the buys if we get a break above and a retest, similar to GU. Let me see. Yeah, so we got the break above, retest, had our zone created. So anything coming back to the zone will be a nice area to look for buys. NZD USD. So we have our weekly zone that's here. I'm going to get rid of this weekly zone because it's no longer relevant. Okay, cool. So we created this zone. We had a nice engulfing candle here. So this is a buy signal. We're currently at the 0.625 quarter point, looking to take buys up to the 0.65 quarter point. So we'll be watching that for next week. I would be comfortable taking buys on NU today. So because the fundamentals do support it, and we have this strong bullish candle here, which we've retested about the 50%. So that would be a nice confluence to take a buy. We did break above the alligators, broke below, consolidated. So we'll see if this will be that final push that we need to have a strong trending market to the upside. All right, and then NZD Swiss franc. Like I said, Swiss francs was strong. We did create a order block here with the engulfing weekly candle here. Similar to NZD/USD, we're retesting that engulfing about 50%. We're trapped in between the 0.55 QP and the 0.575 QP. Buys off the 0.55 were a good trade idea, but we're waiting for confirmation. So now that we're getting the retest, we'll be looking to see if we could get that buy up into the previous weekly zone, and then we could potentially look for shorts from there. We might start create another consolidation range in between these zones before either breaking out to the highs or breaking out to the lows. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So if any entries I would take, it would more than likely be NU and N Swiss for the buy today. GBPs, I would like to wait to see how the market reacts for the next week, and then see if we can get a buy position in. And AUDs, although they're supportive of the buy now, fundamentals are not really lining up with AUD strength. So I would say no trade on AUDs. All right, so looking at Bitcoin, as you can see, we had a nice market rally. We're finally pulling back. So this could be considered an entry for the buy now, but I'll be looking for a lower pricing, possibly coming down to this area of order blocks. You can see we had this nice engulfing candle here. So maybe we could retest 50% or lower to then get a turnaround. So we'll watch Bitcoin next week. If you were going to, transfer Bitcoin, this might be a good time to do it this week since the price is probably settled and it's not going to make any sudden moves. The volatility is not there. All right, Ethereum, it's looking like we're getting, we already broke above the fractal, the alligators. Look like we're retesting the alligators. So anywhere from here would be nice areas to look for buys. So just using the indicator to support the trade. Let me take off my quarter points. Okay. SPX, we had a nice bullish push, broke the structure bullish, so we're still looking at bullish continuations. We had a nice little retest here of the imbalance, and now it looks like we're going to consolidate sideways. So SPX might not be the best trade. I'd rather wait for price to come back down and then look for the buy setup. All right, and NASDAQ's pushing. It's getting ready to clear these highs. Broke the alligators, retested, came back, got a nice little stop hunt to the lows, and we pushed up. So not really a great entry for NASDAQ. Maybe taking this as a signal week. We could have waited for a lower time frame to give us a buy signal, but since we broke below the low of this candle with this wick, probably would have been stopped out. So let's look at XAU. So gold, still pretty bullish. Looks like we're doing a consolidation pattern into the highs. So this is either supportive of a continuation, or we could be, retesting the highs to then fall. So we'll see. This would be the zone I'd be looking at for buy entries here. But for now, looks like we're just going to be waiting. We would like something like this to happen where we get a nice fall into the trend lines, and then we can take a position up. So probably buying from this week into this week would have been better. You can see we did stop right below the low though of the body candle, so that might have been a harder trade to catch. All right, XAU USD. So this is the type of reaction that I'm looking for. Is similar to Bitcoin, Ethereum. We just want to see if price is going to continue falling before we get the turnaround. So we'll be watching these as well for correlation for what the Forex market is going to do. All right, so let me just slow down a little bit and review what we've done so far. So we looked at AU, looks like no trade but a bullish setup. Swiss franc looks like no trade but a bullish setup due to fundamentals. GBP USD looks like no trade because we're looking for further weakness. Swiss franc, excuse me. Swiss franc looks like no trade just because we're looking for further weakness as well. So the only setups I see would be NZD USD for the buy and NZD Swiss franc for the buy as well. And remember, guys, I'm going with the bias of dollar weakness. So that's why I'm looking for buy positions on these risk on assets. As the dollar weakens, these risk on assets should be moving to the upside. All right, so VIX. So we did have some volatility enter the market. It looks like we're retesting. So that suggested that we might have further volatility coming into the market. So be mindful when setting stop losses as volatility increases. More than likely, you can increase your profits, but also you could also increase your losses if you're not careful. So AUDs, looks like we are getting somewhat of a bullish reaction from around the 3.1% price. It's kind of consolidating now. So it's hard to tell if AUDs will have strength or will continue to be weak, because this could just roll over and show that fundamentally the AUDs are still weak. GBPs, like we know, have been bullish for a while. Right now, it looks like we are getting some weakness entering, but as you can see, these candles are closing kind of strange. This candle here, inside candle, then this candle broke out above but closed bearish, so that's interesting to note. And then this candle looks like a traditional sell candle, where it's still, well, it broke above with the wick and now it's back inside the range. So we'll be interested to see if it comes back down to the alligators, and we could possibly take a buy position on the GBPs from there. NZDs, so this is weird too. Pushed up, came back down. So we're consolidating, but we broke below, which is suggesting NZD weakness. Maybe next week's candle will be a bullish candle, which would support the buys on NZDs. And then looking at the Australian index, yes, you can see it's looking really bullish. We're at the lows around 65. So it's looking pretty bullish for AUDs. I'll be interested to see if AUDs are going to be bullish next week. The British Pound Currency Index looks very similar to the GBP USD. We got that first red week. So we're going to see if we continue to fall, which would suggest GBP weakness. And the NZD Currency Index looks bullish, but we did close bearish. So more than likely next week we'll close bullish, which should support bullish NZDs. All right, the JPY basket. JPY's been gaining strength. Actually, the JPY, sorry, GBP JPY, NZD JPY, AUD JPY, they all had a strong bearish reaction this week after hitting the highs. So that supports JPY's gaining strength. But as you can see, JPYs are still bearish. So that's why I'm still concluding that those pairs will be bullish ultimately. So with these two candles closing bullish, I think next week's candle is going to be bearish, which would indicate JPY weakness, and that will be supportive of risk on assets being bullish. All right, so then the futures are pretty much looking like the indices. So, or the indexes, I should say. So we'll leave it at that. And just for correlation purposes, I'll be looking at your AUD. So we are having some weakness on your AUD off of my supply zone. Looking to see if we can get a retest of the supply zone and push down. But for now, we're super bullish on your AUD, which supports AUD weakness. Euro GBP is starting to be bearish. We just broke below our alligators, so a retest of the alligators and a fall down would be supportive of GBP weakness and then strength when it falls. So we'll be watching that. And then Euro NZD, as you can see, we had that weakness of Euro NZD. It does look like it's getting ready to buy up, which would be counterproductive for NZD strength. So we'll see if this doji candle is going to be supportive of Euro NZD being bullish. If your NZD is bullish, then the NZD should be bearish, and then that would change my fundamental bias on NZDs back to short, which it has been with the AUDs. It's been in line with the AUDs of the NZDs being weak. But recently the fundamentals are showing that NZD should be bullish. So that's pretty much all I got, guys. Looking at the weekly time frame has been really helpful for my psychology, just because I give myself a little bit more room to breathe, and I'm able to look at the charts way less. But like I said, I do dial down on the lower time frames. So follow the signals. I haven't been putting out the best signal recently, but as I'm getting more used to my new approach of trading, hopefully everything will start looking up soon. So thanks, guys, for checking in this week. That's it for this week. I just want you guys to keep trading strong. Don't worry about all the volatility in the market as the market is settling out, trying to decide which direction it wants to go. Just stay on your charts and be ready for the opportunity when it presents itself. So I'll see you guys next week, and I hope you have a great weekend.